What's up, everybody? My name is Andrew Sitech, and I'm here to bring you guys my first ever lens review. And what lens do I have for you guys? The Zeiss 35mm f1.4. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite lenses, and I'm super stoked to talk to you guys about it. If there's anything that you guys like or dislike about this video, please leave it down in the comments. I'll make sure to read through all of them and try to work on it as the videos progress. But with all that being said, let's cue the intro. So like I said to you guys, this is one of my all-time favorite lenses. I use it to get roughly 75% or more of my shots during photo and video shoots. It comes in with a focal length of 35mm, aperture of 1.4, which will give you that creamy depth of field, and a price tag of roughly $1,500. This was a tough one for me to swallow when I was first getting into it, because this is actually the second lens I bought, and that was a big step for me. But I'm gonna explain to you guys why I think it was worth the price. Alright, let's start off with build quality. I remember when I first got this lens, pulled it out of the box, I really had to wonder, what did this lens have to offer that was worth $1,500? I was instantly impressed. It has a full metal body that includes the aperture ring, focus ring, and even the lens hood. Type of hybrid design where the shiny part is a metal material. The dull part is more of a plastic, but still feels really premium to the touch. Even the aperture ring, it has a switch on the side of the lens that allows you to turn on and off the tactile switch. So if you were to really need to dial it in on a manual video and you don't want any camera shake, you can do that. And so I typically leave it on, but this option is there. The only thing that I would say is a downside is that where it connects to the camera, it does not have weather sealing. How much does it really cost to put a little plastic or rubber grommet around here? It seems like for a premium lens, it should really have that kind of little touch to it. I'd say the only other downside to it would be possibly the weight. I don't see it as a downside, but if you were to try and balance your gimbal or Steadicam, it could make it a little bit more difficult. As you can see here on my Sony Alpha 6500, it kind of makes it look smaller. Obviously nothing compared to the 70-200, which comes out to about here, but it does have a little bit of effect on it. I personally like it. I like the size, I like the quality, I like the weight. I'm personally a big fan of this lens and the build quality of it. But let's move on to image quality. This is what we both been really waiting for. You guys can see how this lens really performs, and I can show off some of the sick shots I've gotten. I think it's gonna be a fun category. Upon first glance, I was really impressed with the sharpness of this lens for both photo and video. Not only was your subject really sharp, but the autofocus was really fast and accurate too, which makes it really good for videos. After a deeper look though, when you're shooting around f1.4, when you're really wide open, you will start to see some softness occur around the edges and corners of your shots, which this can be an issue, but when you're shooting at f1.4, you're typically trying to blow out the background anyways. I typically don't have my subject right on the edge or anything of that sort, so in the center of the shot, you'll still see a lot of sharpness and clarity, but it'll just be around the edges. You'll start to see it soften up a bit. For photos, this can be an issue. Videos, I haven't really ever had an issue with this, but for photos, if I do have the subject right up against my background, it can lack a little bit of sharpness in that instance. The last thing I want to talk about is portability. This lens is a trooper and definitely not afraid of any wear and tear. It goes on all my adventures and shoots with me, and that's including a 5-day backpacking trip I took to California. It survived all the hiking, cliff jumping, and basically I was longboarding across the state the whole time. I was actually doing a shoot with a sorority one time. I was in the back of a pickup truck, just started downpouring. I had to throw it in through the back window of the truck, and surprisingly everything worked just fine. This lens has never let me down, honestly. The only downsides I can see for this lens and portability would possibly be the weight and also the fact that it's a prime lens. The weight has never really been an issue for me, but if you're looking for a super light lens that you can just take everywhere with you, then maybe it's not for you. I've never had an issue with it being the weight that it is. That's just up to personal preference, I suppose. But also the fact that it's a prime lens, that does limit you on your flexibility. If you're out and you're traveling and stuff and your subject's super far away, you can't just zoom in. You're the zoom. Sorry, pal. If you really need to go get that shot, you have to go get it. So overall, if I had to pick one lens to take with me everywhere and use all the time, I would easily pick the Zeiss 35mm f1.4. The reason being is that a 35mm is still wide enough that you can get your surroundings in your environment, but it's still tight enough that you can get your subject up close too if you needed to. Not only that, but the aperture being a 1.4, that allows you all the low light capabilities that you need and a creamy depth of field if you really want it as well. Alright, so that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys liked this video and I hope it was helpful. Now what I need from you guys is if you guys like this video, give it a like. If you guys dislike this video, give it a dislike. And if you guys have any feedback on how I can improve in the future, leave a comment below. And so if you guys want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. But until next time,